Sean Westgate, UCLA Linebacker, joining us again now. Feel like we've talked 1,000 times with this video camera, and yet, right now is almost the most pivotal time, not only of your career, but for this program, it seems. What's the tone, or I guess the vibe you'd say kind of going into camp?
Excited. I can speak for both offense and defense, which I can't usually do, but I can speak for both of us. We are all kinds of excited for these new offenses, new defenses we got going in, and just the enthusiasm these coaches bring to the table for us. It's great. We look forward to it. I'm telling you, it's going to be a whole different UCLA Bruins this year.
How does it compare to last fall camp going into it?
I mean, we were optimistic then too. I mean, it's just a matter of buying in, and I feel like, we're better equipped. We're older. We're a lot more mature. A lot of these guys that are coming back now have been guys that have been here. It's our third, fourth year now. And we're either, we're sick of, falling short. So, on that, compounded with the enthusiasm these coaches bring to the table, I think it's even more than last year. We're even more excited. We're more optimistic because we feel like we got a real chance.
Coach Neuheisel a few minutes ago just said something about, the chemistry not being right in the coaching staff. And I talked to him about it a little more. And that doesn't just mean, being able to go get lunch with a guy. That's a different kind of chemistry. You need a common voice.
Right.
You need to all kind of sound the same as coaches, and it hasn't been that.
Right.
At least, in my time, I'm sure in your time. Does that feel different? Do you kind of feel like, just the messages sound more similar now, just the attitude sounds a little more similar?
Yeah, in the past, I don't want to say anything bad about my coaches because I think the best of them, and they were great coaches. It just, didn't work at the time. But I can tell you right now that, you don't hear really any conflicting voices from the coaches. It's really, I think Coach Neuheisel saw maybe some of that going on.
Yeah.
It was not evident to us, but he made it evident that he's going to make sure that the coaches are all on the same page. And everything kind of goes through him, and he's going to, make sure that everything's working on that page. So, once it was pointed out, you can kind of see subtle differences. But yeah, I feel like, everybody's on the same page now. It's really looking like it's going to be that all year.
Sean, going into 2009, you guys had a ton of senior leadership, but you had a ton of seniors in key positions. You had Reggie Carter at middle linebacker, Kyle Bosworth at the other linebacker, and that allowed Akeem Ayers as the third starter to be less disciplined, or to kind of go, be the playmaker that he is or whatever. Last season, you weren't quite as experienced. Patrick Larimore wasn't quite as experienced, and all of a sudden Akeem's the most experienced guy. Well, you need a little more stability from the most experienced guy. Do you feel like this season, like you're talking about, guys are more mature in those key spots? You're a senior, Patrick's a junior, whoever's, Glenn Love might be the other linebacker, he's a senior, Daytone, Damian Holmes, all those guys?
Right. Yeah, I feel like we are a much more mature team, and I want to say that it comes down from Coach Tracy a lot too. He's really harped on the fact of leadership and bringing us into the positions of that. And on top of that, he's not going to play guys who aren't mature enough to play. Like, he's not going to play guys who don't understand the defense, who aren't going to stay in their responsibility. Because there's situations where you get out of your gap to go make a play. But no coach will ever be mad at you for that. But if you take that shot, you got to make the play.
You gotta make it.
It's a take it, make it
situation.
Make it,
yeah.
So that's open. He wants us to play fast. And he wants us to play football. But he's saying, like, if you're jumping out of your gap when you shouldn't be, you're not going to play. If you're hitting the wrong gap as a linebacker, you're not going to play. It's just that kind of thing. And he stressed that to everybody going into spring ball. And so it was really, our focus was on making sure we were in the right spots, doing the right thing, so that everyone around you trusted you. So then people can go and make plays because they trust the person next to them. So I feel like it's a whole, it's even more mature this year because we got a lot of guys who either played or started before.
Yeah, that trust issue. When does that appear? Is that something you've already seen, or is that something that it takes maybe a game against another opponent to feel, 100% that the other 10 guys on the field with you, you can give it all up for them and they'll give it all up for you?
Well, I mean, you go into your first game, I mean, the guys that are on your squad, you trust them, you know. It's kind of one of those things that's lost more than, you know, you earn it through spring ball, you earn it through camp, and I mean, these guys are going to trust you. If you're going into it with them, they're going to trust you.
Starts at 100%.
It starts at 100% and it goes down, you can earn it back, but it's one of those things, if you don't trust your teammates, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
So you have to trust your teammates. You have to believe that the coach made the right choice in putting them there. And you have to know that. I mean, we all know that everyone on this team has the athletic ability to do everything. So after that, it's just a matter, you know, getting the mental aspect of the game, which I think is like 10 times better this year, you know, than it was last year. You know, we got guys who are older, who have been in the system, who know how to, you know, learn a defense. Learning a new defense wasn't as hard because we have guys who understand defense.
Yeah.
And so we trust each other. I know all the guys we play for, we trust each other, and then we trust each other to make sure that the guys who aren't as experienced are going to know it through us.
It's good stuff. Sean Westgate, we're going to be talking a lot on this video camera, man. Thanks, bud.